We almost there, guys. I apologize for the delay, but we'll be all right. All right, we are live on YouTube right now. And as of right now, 7:36. All right, too easy. So tonight discussion is about leadership. And our goal is to try and help as many men that's looking to grow and be more, have a healthy group of brothers that they can kind of bounce ideas off, concepts off, and grow together, then that's what this is about, right? Brotherhood, leadership, opportunity, growth. This morning or this evening, I don't have anything for a PowerPoint, more of a group discussion. It's supposed to be the second meeting of each month, which is the fourth week of each month. Today, I'm going to do some things. I'm going to talk about some things that are dealing with emotional intelligence, and the book we're using is Emotional Intelligence 2.0, Emotional Intelligence 2.0, which is Travis Bradberry is the main person that's speaking in this area. So that's what we're talking about tonight. So good evening again, fellas. I want to thank every man who made the decision to show up tonight. That decisions alone tell me something about you. You care about growth. Tonight is not about perfection. It's not about progress. It's about progress, not about impressing anyone, but it's about improving ourselves. Blog exists for one reason, to create a space where men can grow in brotherhood, leadership, opportunity, and growth together. When we turn to scripture, iron sharpen iron. So one man sharpening others. Proverbs 27 and 17. Tonight we're shaping something many men were never taught to use well, our emotions. Why does conversation matter the most to most people? All right. Let me say this clearly. Emotional intelligence is not weakness. It is strength under control. A lot of what I'm sharing tonight is reinforced by modern research. One of the strongest voices in space is Terry Bradberry, author of Emotional Intelligence Habits. He teaches that emotional intelligence isn't a personal trait, it's a daily practice. What science is now is confirming that scripture has been teaching us for thousands of years, right? So picture a man sitting in a car after work, the engine is off, the phone is on silent. He hasn't gone inside yet, not because he doesn't love his family, but because he needs 60 seconds to switch roles. That pause is emotional intelligence. A lot of times we have to learn how to just decompress. We have to learn how to self just take a moment to breathe in and breathe out before we say something, before we walk in the room, before we respond to someone else, not react, respond. I had to have several conversations today with several people about the difference between reacting and responding. When we react, as most of the time it's emotional, it's it's argumentative, it's to argue a point, and it's to just back at you or prove a point, right? But when we respond, we listen clearly to what someone else said, and we'll talk about what they're saying and not what we think we heard, right? So that pause is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to recognize, manage, and use emotions wisely in yourself and in others. Bradbury breaks emotional intelligence into five core habits. And tonight we're going to walk through them with scriptures, real life activities, and leadership. That's the goal of tonight. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything that you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. Leadership doesn't start with skills, it starts with your heart. Your heart holds everything you need, true and dear. So, in order to really understand Bradbury's standpoint, he says, I always start with self awareness. Bradbury teaches that you cannot manage emotions you do not recognize. Most leadership mistake happens before awareness kicks in. A lot of people have blind spots. A lot of people have something going on that they've been doing for many moons, and nobody ever just took out the time to share with them, to communicate to them these blind spots. That is one thing that we all have. And it's not like we intentionally have it. It's just because of life. It's just because of, hey, what happened when I was a child, and the conversation I had when I was a child is unchecked. And then you grow older and then you got grown children that's making the same mistakes over and over again that they made as a child because they went unchecked. Nobody told them, nobody acknowledged it, nobody brought it out. True story. In my last situation, that my relationship I was in, that person pointed out all my blind spots. She pointed out several of them. I ain't gonna say all of them. She pointed out several of them. And because of those pointing out, hey, they hurt. It was frustrating. And I found myself saying a lot of times, nobody ever told me that. Nobody ever said that about me. Why are you the only one to see that in me? Why do you don't want to see me like that? But then I had to sit back and just really think about what she said. And then I started doing homework and research and learning more about what she was saying about me. And I found it to be true myself. I didn't like the delivery. I didn't like it was coming from my significant other at that time. But in the day, that was a blind spot. That was something I didn't see. I couldn't see. So I had to go and do a lot of work on me to get past what I was presenting because I didn't want to come across that way. I didn't want to be seen that way. And I was just trying to do a lot of self-reflection and a lot of inner work on me to make sure I'm able to not be seen that way from anybody else, even though those blind spots, right? So again, I had to get out of my own way. Imagine driving at nighttime with a cracked windshield. You can still see, but every light is distorted. Nothing outside changed. The problem is the lens that you're looking out of. I know Jim Rome talk about, hey, the lens, which way you look at it, and Brian Tracy, I think both of them, Jim Rome and Brian Tracy, both back up with how do you see things. If you go to work and you are already aggravated from your home life, and then when a child or somebody say some another employee say something to you at work and you snap on them, it's because you got a foggy lens for what's going on at home. Vice versa, if you go to work and you frustrated with your job and you drive home and you got all this frustration on you, you don't take that time to decompress, to release, to let all that stuff that happened at work stay at work or stay in that car and get out and go in your house, and the kids ain't cleaned up that day, and you just snap and joke off on them, or your wife didn't cook that day, or your girlfriend or significant other didn't cook that day, you just go off on them because you got all this stuff you holding on to from work. That's the lens you're looking at, all this frustration, so you can't see it. But when you decompress and let stuff go and hold it tight, then when you go in the house with a clear conscience and say, "Hey, I'm home. I'm in my safe ground. I'm where I'm at." Or vice versa. You leave home and go to work and say, hey, I'm in a place where I got to pay bills. I need this money. I need to make a difference. I'm in a practice zone of getting better at what I do in this area. Because I try and encourage people, don't go to work for them. Go to work on you. Whatever you think you want to do when you leave the next job or your real career, what God called you to do, go to work and practice those skill sets at that location and get paid to do those things. It's a beautiful thing when you do it like that. So emotions are lenses of leadership. And that's what we want men to start leading by having Christ in them, by having God in them, by having something holier than you leading you so that the people you lead can see that in you and follow you, not follow you based off of what your actions is solely. You can go come around and get it. All right. Let us examine our ways and test them. Lamentations 3:40, right? Men today are carrying pressure quietly, jobs uncertainty, family responsibility, identity questions. And when emotions go unnamed, they start naming our behaviors. So sometimes we just got to call it what it is. We got to say when we angry. We got to say when we frustrated. We got to call out the emotion we feeling so they won't go unchecked and you just start doing other things. Your behavior starts showing frustration, starts showing anger. Call it what it is so you can do it. We are fathers, and as a father role model, you have kids that feel your tone, right? I remember when I coached girls basketball, the girls cried almost every day when I first started coaching because I talked to them just like I talk to any kid, any male or anybody in the military, or like I talk to anybody that, hey, we have a mission, we need it done. But I had to change my tone if I wanted them to hear me. They couldn't get past my tone and they couldn't do what I asked them to do because my tone was unchecked. I had to check my tone. I had to come to learn how to say stuff in a soft way and say cool, calm, and collect, and for them to do it. Husbands, emotional absence feel like rejection. When you don't have no emotions, then that your significant other, your wife, feel like you rejecting them. They actually want you to show that you have an emotion. They actually want you to tell them that, hey, right now I'm feeling a little angry or I'm a little frustrated about this situation. And they'll love that more than you trying to hide it, but you showing it in your behavior. Bosses, your mode dictate the culture of your job. If you the leader at that job and you come into that building and you have a bad attitude, you look at everything from a negative perspective, you building a culture where people does the same thing. And that's something that goes unchecked and it's gonna cause more problems. So fellas, what situation consistently gets a reaction out of you, you need to think about that. You need to take out a couple seconds right now to think about what situation consistently get a reaction out of you. If you go to work and then you have your employees coming in late every day and they get a reaction out of you, call what that is. Tell people what they're doing when they do that instead of showing it with your behavior. If you're buying gifts for your loved ones, your family members, your children, your people, right? And then they don't show they're appreciative, show that, hey, you have no appreciation. I need some gratitude around here. I'm doing this, I'm working hard. I could be paying bills, but I'm taking my money to buy you something. Call it what it is. I need you to be appreciative, more aware that I'm doing these things. It's a sacrifice for me to get these things, right? So Bradberry says emotionally intelligent leaders create space between emotions and action. They pause. They just don't react. They wait, they think, and they breathe, and then they respond. It's crazy how just today I had to tell at least three people, three kids, three cadets, and an adult. I don't make decisions without thinking about how this decision is going to affect me 3 years from now or 5 years from now. 3 years from now or 5 years from now. So if I do this 3 years from now, how this decision today is going to affect me 3 years down the road. How this decision today going to affect me 5 years down the road? And if it's going to affect me in a way that's negative or going to take away, I'm not doing it. I'm good. Let's not make that decision because I need to move on and I need to stay on track. That's why I believe making 3 and 5 year goals and then make a 10 year goal. You got to hit a small, you know, make a year, 3, 5, 10. If you set your goals out like that, you know you on path every year. And then you can see, hey, what's going to affect me 3 years? What's going to affect me 5 years? Because I can't make 10 years if I mess up them. And the goal is to try and stay on path. So picture your fingers hovering over a send button on a text message. That pause right there is leadership. Before you send that text that you just typed up because you read something. I just had a situation the other day. I was asked when I'm gonna make arrangements to get my son for the summer. I waited for a little while to respond. I thought about how I want to respond. Then I respond. And the next thing I say, well, that's too early. He's in school. So why you didn't give me my left and right perimeters is what I want to say in my head, but I didn't respond no more. Because at the end of the day, she's handling it the way she see to handle it. I'm handling the way that I see, like, hey, look, I want my child as early as possible. So I don't care. I get him whenever. But give me my left and right perimeters so that I can be within your guidelines and I can do it. So I had to wait. I paused. I responded. I paused. I have not responded again. because I'm waiting to think about how God can lead me with that decision, not me just say what I'm thinking, because that probably gonna be a problem. Everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak. James 1 and 19. Right? If you lead, I go back to what I said earlier. If you let God lead you, people will follow you because they'll see the leadership that you're leading from. You're not leading from your own action, you're leading from God. Many men don't explode at work, but they unload at home. Safe people often receive the worst version of us. Guys, that's talking about me all day long. When I first started working as a young man at 25 years old, I got married right away. Once I graduated from college, I got married probably next year. And from there, I was literally trying to play catch up. I got hit with child support that year before when I got married, from a kid that I didn't know about at the moment that came about. And I mean, I had him, it's my child, but she told me it wasn't mine a long time ago. She came back 3 years later and said, yeah, you, you got a child once I got a job. And you could be right there. I could have been mad about the 3 years. I could have been frustrated about it. I'm like, well, I got through college, I graduated, I'm working a job, and I can do more for this child with a college degree than I can do working at McDonald's, Burger King, Foot Locker, which I was at Foot Locker hustling all the time. That helped me out. It gave me 3 years head start, right? But again, the thing about it is I had to really think about the situation I had to make at that moment. And then I came behind. I got caught up. I got hit with child support. So I had back child support right out the back. Then I had a new job, a new wife, and then I'm working a new job. And that job, I found out quickly that those checks don't add up when they take away FAFSA and they take away all them other names and people I don't know. I'm paying this person, I'm paying that person, I'm paying health insurance. Before I even get my check, I done paid everybody else. And I'm like, this is all I'm left with? I gotta pay for this child, I gotta pay for this woman, I gotta pay all these bills, I gotta pay for these cars. God. But I was so busy hustling and working. By the time I got home, I was tired, I was sleepy, and they got the leftovers. And they happened for many moons, until I went active duty in 2019, and I was told you don't work on weekends by my boss, by the people at the job, at the job location, and by my significant other at that time. Said, no, we relax on the weekends. You don't work on weekends. That changed. That's when I stopped being so frustrated all the time. 'Cause I hit that refresh button, right? Now, that wasn't easy, but I had to learn to do it so people can get the better version of me at home. All right. So that, hey, think about that if that's you. If you don't want to go into work, busting your chops, trying to pay all the bills, trying to make all the money, and then all of a sudden your family getting the frustrated you, the leftover you, the tired you, the sleepy you, the oh, I can't do this. Y'all gonna go do this. I'm gonna give you the money, just go do it without me. Missing all them years. So husbands, silence versus stonewalling. Bosses, calm builds trust. Talking to people calmly, kindly, with respect builds trust, not yelling, screaming, fussing. Entrepreneurs, emotional decisions cost money. If you make someone mad, they go out there and do all the reviews on you, that costing you money because now you done cause these people to put something out there on the internet for you. And people have a way of reading everything on the internet and think it's true from their opinion. I done heard kids in school say, if it's on Facebook, it's real. Like, oh, no, it's not quite how it goes, but interesting. So, what decisions would have gone differently if you would have paused for 10 seconds? Think about that. That's a reflection question for all of us on this call. These are the type of things that we supposed to be doing, but we're live, and I don't want everybody, unless you feel comfortable, you're more than welcome to unmute and speak, but you're live on Facebook, YouTube and other places. And I'm putting my personal business out there because it is what it is. I can't learn and grow from these things, and I have to still learn to grow, and I still got to react. So you more than welcome. If you want to unmute anybody on a Zoom call, you more than welcome to share, some things that could have went differently if you'd have paused for 10 seconds before responding. All right. And I'm gonna drive a little bit harder. How many of you wrote an email? I had to learn this. I read a book. Said write the email after you pissed off at work or somebody. Write the email. but then delete it. Get it out, but then delete it. Don't keep it. Don't send it. Don't put it in your drafts. Delete it and then retype the email. And I promise you, got everything out that you felt the first time, delete it. I done typed so many text messages. Copy, delete. Now let me type it out. I got some good sense, right? Do that. All right, Bradberry teaches that motivation collapse when try to applause, when it's tied to applause. Emotionally intelligent men are value driven, right? So many times I gotta ask people, did that bring value? Think before you speak. What will happen 3 years from now if I do this? Value driven, right? You ain't worried about what everybody think about you. You worry about what the mission is and how can you help more folks to get there. So picture a man planting a tree. He may never sit up under that tree, but the value that tree gonna give other people is gonna be priceless. It's gonna get them shade. You can give them a spot to pick a playhouse, a tree house. It's gonna give them a spot to probably, if it's a fruit tree, give them fruits. It's gonna bear to give out more. That's purpose. It's a reason why we plant trees now. Nowadays, they cutting all the trees down, putting concrete everywhere. But back in the days when they planted trees, there's definitely a reason for more. I know I had a house a long time ago that had a big tree over it. It was huge, but it was dying. So the neighbor cut it down. My electric bills went sky high after he cut that tree down and gave me all that shade over my house. But if they would have kept it up and a storm hit it too hard, it was gonna fall right over my house. So hey, higher electric bill, shade gone, but a tree fall on your house is all over. Somebody could be in there and die. So at the end of the day, we found the benefit of that tree being planted, but we also saw what that benefit, the negative of that tree leaving too. But we didn't want the other results. So whatever you do, work as unto the Lord. Colossians 3:23. Guys, you got to have purpose. You got to do it for God and you have to release you. I had to talk to a young lady today. You know, I asked her, I said, hey, do you believe in God? And they said, yes. I said, do you believe in Allah? Do you believe in Buddhism? Or do you believe in Christian beliefs, Christ, Jesus? They said, Christians. I said, okay, then. So what make you better than them? What happened to him before he died? Tell me the story. You know the story? And she just started crying. I'm like, what if? So why you think people ain't gonna talk about you? I said, you gotta release you. Oh, now that's one story I told one girl and another girl, and I said, you gotta release you and allow that, hey, people gonna do what they do and you do what you do. But then another young lady, she walked past me, I said, stop. I said, when are you gonna live up to your potential? What you mean? I said, you have so much potential to be a leader in this program. I really need you to step up. I said, there's a reason why my coworker was calling your mom, trying to get you to stay for color guard and drill team and get you on all them teams and harass him to the mama cussed him out and said, don't call me no more. She ain't staying. All right, got it. He done. But at the end of the day, he sees so much in you that he was willing to be annoying to your mom to get you to go where you need to go. And I said, I see the same potential in you if you ever decide to step up. She said, how do I do that? I said, I said, do you believe in God? She said, yeah. I said, then you gotta let go of you and just do what God say do. That's it. Just do what the thing in your head that say do right, do right. That's God. And just do that. And I said that people gonna follow you because they gonna see God leading you. And they gonna follow God in you. Not you, God in you. Right? So do it unto the Lord. Do your work unto the Lord. Men are showing up every day, fathers, husbands, leaders, without recognition, asking, does this even matter? I didn't hit that conversation 100 million times. Man, why I'm doing all this? Nobody cares. Nobody appreciative. I'm giving my all, but it don't seem like they're giving their all. I'm doing everything I can do, but it don't seem like I'm getting a reaping a reward right now. That's what I'm thinking with my head as a young man. That's how I saw it a long time. Now I just do what I need to do because it need to get done. And I don't care what they do. I don't worry about what they say because I know what need to get done and I do it. And then guess what? I'm just leading with examples. I'm leading by taking action. I'm leading with emotional intelligence. And I'm leading without guilt or concern or affirmations from people around me. It takes us to lead that way. It's so many folks worried about what people got to say and they predicting and they projecting their thoughts on other people when they do things. And oh, they just think they all that. They think they know everything. What? They doing what they do. Leave them people alone. Let them people be. You do what you do. Because you don't want nobody projecting on you while you doing what you doing. So why you doing it on them? Treat people the way you want to be treated. And people don't understand that rule. Treat people the way they want to be treated. A lot of folks don't understand that. I don't get it, but that's how I've been raised to do it. And I just treat people the way I want to be treated. Right? So what value, not emotions, is guiding your right now? What's value, not emotion, is guiding you right now? I value my health. That's why I go to the gym. I value my body. That's why I don't eat meat. That's why I cut out beef. When I was eating beef, I was burping all day. I didn't value burping all day. When I started eating chicken, it started tasting like paper with oil and grease. I'm like, what am I doing? Do I really need to chew this stuff? Because it don't taste right anyway no more. Everything seems like it's fake. And then I stopped eating shrimp. I love shrimp. But everywhere I go, I'm in Louisiana. They saying shrimp imported. Why are they imported? What they imported from? Is this even real shrimp? I don't know what the heck this stuff is no more. So I'm like, why am I eating this stuff and I don't know what it is? Why I keep chewing stuff just to chew it? I don't get it. So I value these things, so I make different decisions. So sometimes we got to look at what is it that we're doing it for and what do we value so we can keep doing what we need to do. Bradberry calls empathy a competitive edge. People follow leaders who get them. I don't know who the poet said that. I don't know what you did, but I do remember how you made me feel. I can't remember that. I'm paraphrasing that. And I take that to mind a lot of times now when I deal with my coworkers and I deal with my students and my cadets, whatever. People remember how you make them feel. You can do 100 things right. That one time you do something wrong, that 101, it doesn't even matter if they feel bad because they're going to remember how you made them feel. So now you got to be cautious of what you're doing. That's empathy, right? When I was active duty military, I had to take that test for over and over again. And you got to pass this test to speak to people that lost their loved ones. I forgot the terms of what that is now. But you got to be the first one to talk to the people and report that they loved one passed, and forgot the term for it. Nonetheless, I shouldn't say this online, but I almost became an alcoholic to pass that test. I had to drink so much liquor to get me to BS and feel what people feeling and go there instead of just get out of my own head and being direct and to the point. Empathy was the main thing that I hurt that. I can pass all of them, but empathy is the one that I could not do. I could not put myself in their shoes. Hey, your loved one passed. These are the next steps is how I came across. It is what it is, right? People die. That's what they do. So that's what my mentality was. Hey, this person, that. And when I answer the questions, for every question you answer, they give you a whole bunch of different scenarios for it. And you can go down a rabbit hole and fail. And I failed several times. I started getting drinking alcohol. And then I had to drink so much to be able to BS my way through that and say what I think they want to hear. And I could say what they want to hear when I was drunk. And I'm like, God, Lee, I gotta get drunk to have empathy. But nonetheless, that's what it took for them. But now I always try and look at stuff from their perspective, what they're going through, how they're feeling, what they may be thinking before I respond. Because at the end of the day, they want to be heard and know that you hear them. They want to know that you get them and you understand them. And if you have folks to feel that way, they will follow you. But again, If you answering with your own head, that's what's gonna happen. But if you answering with Christ or Allah or Buddhism, whatever belief you have, whatever God you serve inside of you, then guess what? They'll see that inside you and follow you based off that. Because I don't have no disrespect for nobody religion. I'm not out here saying it's only my religion that matters. I have my relationship with God. You have your relationship with your God, and you good. Do what your God say do. That's all I ask you to do. What you say you gonna do. Read your book, study and show thyself approved, and do your thing. Cause at the end of the day, I ain't gonna get you in heaven or hell, you ain't my responsibility to get you in heaven or hell. My responsibility is to live my life as what I believe in and do that on a daily basis. And hopefully you follow that leadership that's in me, and then you go on your path. That's how I do it. I ain't finna judge you. Do you? Imagine someone drowning. They don't need swimming instructions. They need you to grab their hands and pull them out. So they need you to help them, meet them where they at, not try and tell them how to get out, not try and figure out how to coach them on swimming at that time. They need you to go ahead and get a stick, throw it in the water, help them grab it, or they need you to jump in the water and keep yourself from getting pulled on your head and down. Because that happened to me when I was in my house. My uncle grabbed me and put it on my head and pushed me underwater. I had to go underwater with him, throw him off. But nonetheless, you have to figure out how to get them out of the situation, so you got to get in there with them. You got to meet them where they at. You can't just try and tell them what to do and talk about it. So many times we do that. Rejoice with those who rejoice, mourn with those who mourn, and Romans 12 and 15. That's the one that I had to figure out to have empathy. When people had someone, if I'm reporting that your loved one lost casualty reporting officer, that would be a casualty officer. um, I still probably say it right. CAO, Casualty Assistance Officer, CAO. I knew it could come to me. When I was doing that training, I had to be in that moment, be serious, but at the same time, understand what they probably be going through as I communicate. So kids are overstimulated, partners get exhausted, teams get burnt out. When you have children, they have a lot going on at home. They have a lot going on at school. They have a lot going on in their after school activities. As a father, when you talk to them, it ain't just you, daddy, and now whatever I say goes. You can have that attitude, but it's not relatable, not to the child. You can have that stiff hand, that iron fist, and ruling all like that. But guess what? These kids different nowadays. You got to kind of hear them out. Ask them about their day. Ask them what's going on with them. Ask them what stuff that they feel got them frustrated. And they'll say, oh, that ain't nothing. That don't frustrate. Oh, come on now. Really, Dad? When I was your age, they don't care about when you was their age. They care about what they're going through now. They need you to hear them, what they're going through now, and communicate them and find a way to tie together with what we need to go through. Your partner, if you're not listening to your significant others, if you letting that significant other keep telling you over and over the same thing, they get exhausted and they mentally check out. And when they mentally check out, they gone. They just physically there, but their mind is somewhere else. So don't get to that point. Go and try and hear them out. If they keep saying the same thing, they say, look, I must not be getting it. You just said this 2 times. I must not understand what you really saying. Because I think I did something different. I did this, and I did this. Can you help me with what I'm not doing? Because you keep repeating that to me before they get exhausted. Have that conversation. If they're gonna leave, they're gonna leave anyway. And if by having that conversation cause them to get more exhausted, then that relationship pretty much over because y'all can't communicate. Just call it what it is. Because anybody want to be in a relationship will communicate. We'll try their best to keep talking, and we'll try their best to keep working with you. But when they mentally checked out, you're done anyway. So you might as well go ahead and cut and burn in. And then people at work, they get burnt out when they overwork, when you're not listening, when you're communicating what you want, but not listening to what they want. When you're communicating what it takes for to get to the next level and to communicating what you what the mission is and talking about all this other stuff, but you ain't heard nothing they said. They get burnt out. They don't want to do nothing for you. They don't want to do nothing with you. They really don't want to be around you. So fathers, listen and build trust. Husbands, empathy deepens intimacy. And bosses, understand improvement processes. Right? You gotta, if you want to improve something, improve the process so your performance improves. Who in your life needs your presence more than your advice? Wow. Who in your life needs your presence more than your advice? So many times, my son that stayed with me, a lot of times want me just to listen and want me to just be there than to give him my 2 cents or tell him what to do. I had to learn. He's like, Daddy, every time I start telling you something, you go telling me about this and this and this. And I'm like, I'm trying to keep you from going the wrong path in my head, but that ain't what he wanted. He just wanted me to listen. So now he calls me, go on a rant, and say, okay, Daddy, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Okay. I don't give no advice. I don't comment. I say, well, I'm glad you got that all off your chest. Let me know if you need anything else. And that's it. And that works. I had to learn to do that. I had to learn to do that. It was very weird. All right, we almost done, guys. I know that because this is an open mic. If you feel comfortable to unmute, you're more than welcome to elaborate or talk about something or say that really hit home. Whatever you want to do, you can. But you are live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, I think TikTok or somewhere else too, or Instagram. So Bradberry teaches that avoiding conversations compound damage. I'm telling y'all this stuff I had to read about all them blind spots I had. And I'm gonna be real with y'all. A lot of times in my previous relationships, up to now, I don't do it no more. I'd be like, whatever you want, because I didn't want to fight. I didn't want to argue. Okay, is that what you want to do? Cool. But they really wanted me to say what I really wanted. Pick out the food and say, hey, this is what we eat tonight. Right? Instead of just okay, that what you want. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool. All right, whatever. Yep, sure. We going on vacation wherever you want to go. Yep. Knowing I didn't want to go there. Now I get on the trip and I'm all aggravated and frustrated. And they feel it. I ain't said it, but my behavior and my actions showing it. So that compounds. And when you're frustrated about something and you're not talking about it, they feel it and see it and it hurts. Not only that relationship, but the other people, the children that see it as well. They see that disconnect between their mom and dad or their significant other parents, whatever they are, right? So picture a crack in the windshield again, ignore it, and what it does, it spreads all the way across. Once you get that crack in that little chip, you need to fix it immediately. If not, right, address it early and it stays manageable. So whenever you have issues and concern in relationships at work with people, address it early. Don't wait. Don't let it fester. Don't let it compound. Don't let it get worse because both of y'all feel that way. Right? So speak the truth in love. Ephesians 4 and 15. If you just speak the truth because you want to tell somebody off, you just asking for problems. But you want to speak the truth to try and solve our situation, to try and make a better environment, to try and give more conversation and more input so that we can go in the right direction. That love is going to shine more than what you're saying, and they're going to hear it, especially if you're not yelling or cursing and you communicating. And you communicating with your mouth and not with your actions, right? You got to communicate. So avoidance isn't peace, it's delayed conflict. You just kicking the can down the road, what they used to say. What conversations are you postponing that needs wisdom? Right? Solomon was the smartest man in the Bible, the wisest man in the Bible. And because of his wisdom, he was able to get many, many riches. People came from far and near to pay him for his wisdom. Because God only gives you the ideas and the concepts. And that's how you make the money by putting in the work. He don't come out here and give you money. He give you an idea or a concept, and you have to put it to action, and the money will come. So that's so important that we learn to do that, right? So picture a man feel safe around, right? Not perfect, not loud, but steady, present, and emotionally grounded. We all need to be emotionally grounded when we make decisions. We all need to understand and call out what we really feeling. And we don't need to show it with our actions. We need to speak it out so that people don't get disturbed by us. That man is built through daily emotional habits. You practice that on a daily basis, you're going to be a better person. So brotherhood sharpens us. Leadership steadies us. Opportunity trusts us, and growth humbles us. We go through things for so many reasons. I listened to Myron Golden this morning, and he talked about this is awesome right here. When he said that this morning, you have to first go down to go up. The deeper you go down, the farther you penetrate down, the more your root and foundation gonna grow. And then you grow up. Trees don't grow by a seed on top of the earth. That seed got to go through the earth and down the earth and get watered, and then it grows many, right? Grow a big old tree and it just keep on replenishing. So many times we have to go down in life. We got to go through something. We got to go through some heartaches and pains to grow. And he used the Bible scripture dealing with Joseph. When Joseph had to get sold, Jacob had to get sold into slavery and go through a pit, get in slavery, go to jail to get in Pharaoh's house and be the next man in charge for everybody, for that vision that he had to come true, for everybody to bow down to him. He had to go down to go up. And that's what he talked about this morning when I was working out. I listened to different YouTube videos, and that was powerful. So why wait to be great? Why wait to be great is the most important thing I got for y'all. So, guys, this is tonight's call. I hope that it was fulfilling. I hope it was something that you need to hear for yourself. I do need to look for what piece said I'm missing something. I don't want to leave that way. I would like to leave in prayer. So let me find my closing prayer for you all. It's so important, guys, that we have these type of meetings, we have these type of groups where people can work together, talk together in harmony, and be able to discuss things. And again, right now, on the second meetings of each month, the fourth week, those are meetings were supposed to be private that we are keep in house. Once we get to that point where brothers really feel welcome and feel uncomfortable sharing their thoughts and their events in their lives and things that they learn from. Right now, I'm going live to get this word out and get more people to gather in this environment, and as well as to help as many people that listen. So, if you want to, let's pray together real quick. Father, you are sovereign and faithful, the source of our wisdom and purpose. We honor you as our creator and our steady grounded beneath us in a noisy world. Lord, forgive us for letting pride speak louder than wisdom and for choosing control over trust. Search our hearts and replace our stress with your steady spirit. Thank you for second chances and the brotherhood of men willing to grow. We are grateful for the lessons learned, the hard way, and the grace that meets us in every situation, in every season. Shape us into emotionally intelligent leaders, make us present fathers, purposeful husband or boyfriends, and humble mentors. Help us live out brotherhood, leadership, opportunity, and growth. Today, God, we surrender our pride and choose to become the men you have called us to be. In Jesus' name, amen. Again, brothers, thank you for being on this call. Thank you for your moment to be a part of something that can be bigger than what we can be. With us working together, we can learn from each other, grow from each other, and mentor others. That's the purpose of Blog, Brotherhood, Leadership, Opportunity, and Growth. Next month, we talking about opportunities. I already been researching and studying what I would like to talk about opportunities. Opportunities is the part that mostly everybody want. That's talking about finance, talking about partnership, joint ventures, in ways that we can grow together financially so we can build legacies for those that come behind us. If you a man living for your own, you wrong. You have to live for those that come behind you, right? So that's the way that God has put us on this earth to be fruitful and multiply. And being fruitful and multiply is not talking only about sexually. It's talking about whatever gift God give you, you should keep on developing it so it can be fruitful and it multiply. Leading other people to be leaders is my gift that I believe God has given me. How can I create more leadership in this world in a positive environment? Some folks may call it discipleship, some folks may call it something else, but I'm calling it just leadership. So that's what we have tonight. We appreciate y'all for your time and for being on this call. And I hope that you are blessed from being here in this place. All right, brothers, I'm going to take it off live just in case you want to communicate something different or talk or say hey to me. So let me stop the live screen if I know how.